My name is Brad. I'm with Hoplite Strategies. We are a construction company based out of Fort Mac, and we specialize in roofing and siding. Today I'm going to talk to you about different types of vents. So first off, we have three different kinds that we use for the outlet ventilation. And the first one's a turbo vent, two is a flat vent, and three is a whirlybird. So there's advantages and disadvantages with each kind of vent, but I'm going to start out with turbo vents. So this is kind of how they look. It's kind of a rough drawing. This is what they look like internally. You got your hot air coming up. There's some louvers that direct the hot air down and around. So any moisture or rain or snow that comes down here doesn't get back inside your house. It's a one-way vent. So the advantage of this turbo vent is it doesn't get covered by the snow because it sits up higher than the snow level, and it has just as much airflow as a whirlybird, and it's slightly more expensive, but it's quicker to install, so it's cheaper that way. Those are our most recommended just because they're quick to install, they perform better than any of the other types of ventilation. This is a flat vent. This is kind of what it looks like. It sits up about like 3-4 inches from the roof. Hot air comes out from the roof and down through these little sections, and there's a little bit of a mesh there so bugs can't crawl up inside. In a warm climate, these work awesome, and they're the cheapest way to go. They're the best for a warm climate. But for McMurray, you got tons of snow in the winter, and often these things get covered. So sometimes this heat coming out here is enough to melt the snow. So you also got to look at that. Like if you've got some way for this heat to escape, you're probably fine. But with people that have flat vents on their roof, they typically have to shovel their roof once a year during around springtime, just because humidity problems in their house will build up if the vents are covered. Third type is a whirlybird, and these are quite common. A lot of old school people love them, and they work great. They're pretty much tried and true. There's several different brands you can get with these, and they all work slightly different, and some are complete garbage, but Flamenco and Airhawks, those work really good. The thing a lot of people don't understand about a whirlybird is this spinning thing. That's an indication only. It's not helping the air get out of the roof. What happens is you got the natural draft pushing out through your roof, and that's what turns it. It's not pulling it out. There's no motor on this. It's not any mechanical means of moving the air. So all it functions as is an indicator that you got heat or natural draft coming out. Sometimes the bearing seize up, that's kind of fine, but it's better to have this spinning, because if water hits this and it's spinning, it's just going to get flung off rather than trickle down inside your roof. So that's another reason why I don't really like them too much, is because if they do ever stop spinning for some reason, now you potentially have a leak in your house, which is kind of why you just replaced your roof, so that you wouldn't get any leaks, obviously. Another thing with these is they're more finicky on the install. There's a little bead right here, like this is where you turn it to match the pitch of your roof. So it can look like this, or if your roof's got a smaller pitch, it can look like that. Anyway, this joint here, you've got to fill that with roof cement, and also you gotta, there's a little flange you gotta assemble this onto, and you've got to put roofing cement in there too so that it doesn't leak. So there's more places that this can fail because it doesn't come factory sealed. With those turbo vents, they're just on a pivot system, so for this there's actually like a pivot there and pivot here, and then there's a little locking mechanism on either end that you can screw into, and then it locks it. So there's not as much time wasted in install with the turbo vent as the Whirlybird, and there's more places that a Whirlybird can fail and leak. Like I said earlier, the Whirlybird has the same ventilation value as a turbo vent. A normal 12-inch will give you 800 square feet of ventilation, and a 14-inch will give you 1,000, as per the Lemanco website. But the turbo vents are just, in my opinion, a better product because there's no moving parts. Nothing gets broken, nothing gets rusted, it's all plastic, and there's less places for the seal to fail because you're not building it, essentially. So there you go. That's the presentation on different kinds of vents. Appreciate your time, taking the time to watch this. If you like my videos, please subscribe. And if you live in Fort Mac, please consider us for a roofing or siding job. Thanks.